So the Russos are back, and Kevin Feige is already having to figure out how to keep water on all of the fires that will surround the future of the MCU because they're already backpedaling on everything that they did in phases 4 and most of phase 5. Which characters will be back? How long can they ignore the Eternals, folks? What about that Scarab character from Moon Knight? Remember that? Oh, yeah. There's so many things that are on the plate. And I have to admit, I actually am laughing with my box of popcorn watching it all burn to the ground while they try to figure out what their game plan is. Hence the reason they brought in the Russos. Hence the reason they're already talking about all these other actors that they will throw money at to figure out how to reboot something going forward. But here's the thing, if they don't hire good writers and good people going forward, it's just a flash in the pan money grab. And I think that may be what we end up with, and it's going to be criminal. But they keep ruining good stories by not even having their creators read them. So I don't know what to expect. So anyone that says otherwise, I'm not sure you should believe them. But this came from Gizmodo. This is the press that's being done for Daredevil Wolverine. Obviously, the Russo brothers are back into the mix. They're talking about how things have shaped up in the MCU in recent years. Obviously, that will play a role in things. But here he says, quote, I rarely speak in absolutes like that, meaning who will actually be in the film or not be in the film. The notion of never seeing somebody again. We've got Tim Blake Nelson in a movie coming up next year, right? So again, Tim Blake Nelson was the leader. He was in the Incredible Hulk. Remember that? It's been a minute. Ed Norton Hulk. Yeah. So I'll never talk about absolutes like that. But the truth is, we're going to tell a story in these Avengers movies, and there won't be room for 100,000 characters in it. So choices will have to be made. That's for sure. But that doesn't mean you won't ever see anybody ever again. Now, the rumors are really abound about the amount of characters that are already kind of on the plate. I think that you saw a little bit of this with the shenanigans that went on with Spider-Man No Way Home versus Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, where two different approaches to this. One works significantly better than the other one. They can throw characters against the wall, but that doesn't mean it always works. And it's all about story. It's all about characters and good things rather than just checking boxes. Some of the new characters that are mentioned here, including Eternal, Shang-Chi, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, and many others. Sounds like some of them will be playing a part in the Avengers movies, but not all of them. So again, who's pulling the strings? Who's calling the shots? We will see. So there's a little bit more information that will probably come out after Deadpool and Wolverine, which opens on the 26th. That's part of their thing. So amongst the rumors and the things that are out there, obviously the return of the big names that you're going to expect: Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans. I don't think Mark Ruffalo ever left, let alone for the quote, he'll be back. I think the other two are the big ones. Don't expect Scarlett Johansson back. I expect Jeremy Renner is probably a maybe. I don't think it's something they're really after, but I think it would be fine. But I think the big two is Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. Now, Chris Hemsworth, I think, is still kind of out there floating around for like a Thor 5. That's possible as well. They could be included in some way, shape, or form. Other Guardians characters would be back. So all of that, I think, can be back. The question is, who are they building around? What are they building on? Because phase 4 and 5 have been so weak. The comic books love Miss Marvel. They love America Chavez. These are America Chavez is completely unforgettable. Is completely forgettable. Who in their right mind is like, oh man, I can't wait to see more America Chavez? Like, oh, okay, they got this Vision show coming, so we'll see if anything sort of like birthed and ties into some of that. Obviously, they're moving forward with Black Cap, the Sam Wilson Falcon version of Cap. They're going to be introducing Red Hulk. They're going to be tying the Thunderbolts into a bigger, larger play with that. So, we'll see, John Walker's character, which I think one of the best things that they've done, right? I think he's actually exceptionally talented. I mean, that's kind of goes without saying. He's actually one of the few characters that most of us liked, even though he was a villain. I think he was great. So I'd love to see more elements that drive the story in a positive way. I don't think there's anything refreshing, interesting, or engaging about Simu Liu as this version of Shang-Chi, this watered down, terrible version of Shang-Chi. Obviously, Riri Williams is a joke. She-Hulk was a complete mess. Obviously, the Marvels with Carol Danvers was a complete disaster of an experiment. And at this point, I don't know how they want to even approach the Beyonder part of Secret Wars or something else that will reboot it. I'm not familiar enough with the Jonathan Hickman reboot of Secret Wars that kind of brought in like Old Man Logan, makes Daken a much more important role as the new Wolverine. Miles Morales gets sucked out of the Ultimate Universe and into ours. Obviously, you have the Tom Hardy and the Tom Holland Spider-Man versus sort of out there as well. Will they have roles to play? Probably. They're good for business. Don't know exactly how that will tie into something going forward or not, and how much that will cost the studio. So the question kind of goes back to you guys. What else? Stuff from the Fox, right? Because obviously Deadpool, the Wolverine, former Fox characters. Could they get Fantastic Four characters? Obviously, the new Fantastic Four is coming, right? So you have that factor as well with Pedro Pascal and all those characters, which talk about just a complete dud to me on the surface. So I think that it's just a lot of like we'll see kind of phase still, but the rumors are already starting. The buzz, the pressure is already starting. I don't expect anything really to drop right now. I think as Deadpool and Wolverine goes, we'll now have the first litmus test of where Marvel really is or not. Because this should be a blockbuster. There's no reason it doesn't make a ton of money, at least initially. And if it's not a good film, then it will fizzle out. But it should have a major splash because it's Deadpool. Wolverine is obviously one of the most, if not the most popular character. Again, other than Spider-Man. And we'll see what they can pull in, especially with it, people love all of this fan service, Easter egg, cameo nonsense. I think it's just been overdone and overplayed because I enjoyed it too, but they're not done well. I get angry and I don't enjoy them. Like I thought Multiverse of Madness was despicable. I hated what they did to Reed Richards. I hated how they handled Black Bolt. I hated how they swapped characters out. I thought it was terrible. I thought that version of Professor X was a joke. I just don't want that type of crappy stuff done to the characters that I love so much. But I don't have, until we see otherwise, faith that it'll be done right. And the Russos can't do it alone. That's just it. This has just become too big of a franchise and an IP for them to completely do everything. So I don't know how I'm supposed to hang my hat on Thunderbolts and Black Cap and some of the other stuff that looks like it's coming. Sticking a Red Hulk in a trailer didn't excite me. I kind of laughed. Like, you guys are going to fall for that, huh? Okay. All right. We'll see. So I'd love to hear from you guys, though. What do you guys think about the direction of where we are? What do you expect? What kind of cameos and stuff? It's kind of fun to predict something out that won't even materialize for a couple years. So thought we'd do that and have that kind of conversation. So take care, everybody. I'm Pops.